New photos of Billie Eilish have prompted a discussion about this expression she's always wearing on her face, where she is performatively bored, aloof, dead in the eyes. And it seems like it's something she's putting on for the sake of her brand or persona. So she does this thing where her eyes are constantly drooping and she's trying to appear like tired, over it. You can see in these photos, this is the quintessential Billie Eilish look.
She looks like she's about to do the Undertaker thing where she rolls her eyes into the back of her head and says, rest in peace, but...
Yeah, it's actually becoming relatively ubiquitous amongst stars her age, specifically women her age in Hollywood. When they're on red carpets, they refuse to smile or pose. They kind of just pull this look, and it's supposed to be cool.
Is it supposed to just be aloof?
Detached.
Is it supposed to be aloof? Like, they're like, you don't, like, whatever you say doesn't bother me. And then you have her at that award show last week where she sounds like she's on a bunch of, like, codeine.
A lot of people think drugs are the explanation.
Syrup. Yeah, like she's drinking purple drink, and she's like, so, like, why are you, like, a billionaire, like?
You have more money than me, so you should give your money away.
You should give your money, like, away, like.
To, like, poor people. Yeah. So this viral reply said, I need everyone to stop doing this nonsense with their eyes, which then turned into a discourse in and of itself about whether women are unfairly expected to smile all the time when it's not authentically how they feel.
Well,
and, you know, Cillian Murphy doesn't get a bunch of hate for appearing the same way. When he's doing public appearances, he always has the same look on his face, and he has those large eyelids. It's like the senpaku eyes, I believe that's what it's called, where the whites of one's eyes are visible from the lower part.
Yeah. She looks like she's kind of like, it actually looks hard to see, like part of the eye is actually behind the eyelid and she's not able to look at what she's doing.
One of our friends of the show, Jamie, said, I'm sorry, you can't have eyes that sit in your sockets like this without being exceptionally depressed or exceptionally evil. They're windows to the soul, after all. And when one of the replies suspected that drugs are involved, she said, that's not even what drugs do to your eyes. It's not that her eyes are bloodshot or unfocused. She's deliberately glazing them over so they communicate lifelessness and disinterest.
It's actually not true because your eyelids can definitely droop from drug use. I get what she's saying. Like, she doesn't have the pinpricks or the saucers for eyeballs, but you know, that's not necessarily the truth. And plus, does anybody really believe we live in a world where the celebrities are like, whoa, no drugs on the red carpet. I want to be clear-headed.
I think that smiling is important for both men and women in society. If we want society to not be a living hell, I think we should smile at each other more. And I just saw this clip of a podcast where it's hosted by one Gen Z and one millennial. And then the Gen Zer said she DoorDashes all of her food because she doesn't want to interact with people. And the millennial said, well, this is why your generation is losing any sense of community, because you refuse to interact with strangers. And the Gen Zer was like rolling her eyes, like, this is so unimportant. Like, why do I need to talk to people or look at people?
It is important.
It is important. And that's the millennial was correct.
That's coming from me, who is, look, Olivia is a far more social person than me. So I'll tell you a story. We have a Family Dollar by us. We have a Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, and a Dollar General. We frequent all of these establishments. I avoid the Family Dollar because there's a guy who...
It's a family.
No. There's a guy who works there. He's probably like a very nice guy. It's a franchise store. But when you go in there, he doesn't just want to have a conversation with you. He wants to sit down and talk about Keynesian economics and everything. He will talk to you for 20 minutes if you don't like ease your way out of the conversation somehow. And I'm even talking like with a line there. He will hold up the line to like continue to talk to you. Now, I like on its face, I can appreciate that because he's trying to connect with the people that work, that come to his store, assuming that this is the guy who runs the store, he owns the store, whatever. It's a franchise. But for me, I just can't. And when I worked at convenience stores for many, like several years. And I liked that job a lot, and it required you to be polite and smile to every employee or every customer that came in. But the reason I liked it is because there is a natural clock on the length of that conversation that normal people can figure out.
I have a story of my own.
But your eyes should still like give off an air of warmth and invitation to
just
people
like
that are coming
making
into
eye
your
contact
space.
in
Yes,
general.
absolutely.
I frequent this coffee shop that is not a chain. It's owned by a small business, and there are regulars who really get a kick out of being regulars there. Like they really love identifying as a regular, to the point where the last time I was at this coffee shop, I was waiting in line for these two women, and they were just making small talk with the barista for like 2 minutes before they even started thinking about what to order, while I was standing right there. And I admittedly was perturbed by that. Like, we need to be more efficient. But sometimes just being polite and customer service comes at the expense of bare efficiency. Hence why customer service is in the gutter right now. Gen Z doesn't seem to have the same definition of customer service that prior generations do. And this is why Target is implementing a new policy in their stores where their employees are mandated to smile at and start conversations with customers as of November 10th.
I agree
staff
with
members.
I agree with the smile part. I don't necessarily agree with the conversation part based on like the distance they said you had to be from that person.
Yeah, so they say, according to the new policy, if staff members are within 4 feet of customers, they must personally greet the guests, smile, and initiate a warm, helpful interaction. How about we only have this during Christmas season?
Yeah.
How about that? But yeah, I thought we could have a happy medium here where like you're not a soul-sucking, depressive, just like nuisance as an employee, but you can also like not bother me and ask me if I need anything every 30 seconds.
I would like to think that when I work, and I did work at Target back in the day, many, many years ago now. That would have been like 20, my gosh, that would have been 20 years ago now when I started at Target. And I'd like to think that I was friendly all the time. I wasn't a cashier. I worked in the photo lab back in the day, you know, when you had to print your pictures out. You saw some shit. And I'd like to think that I was polite to everybody, but I bet you there were some days where at the very least my face didn't convey necessarily the happiest tone. But I'd like to believe that I smiled to everybody when they came in.
So their executive VP told USA Today that we know when our guests are greeted, feel welcomed, and get the help they need. That translates to guest love and loyalty. Heading into the holidays, we're making adjustments and implementing new ways to increase connection during the most important time of the year by our team. So maybe this is only for Christmas season and not the rest of the year. I just think it's telling that they even need to put a policy like this in writing. Yes. Because it used to be just assumed that if you're in a customer service role, you would be polite to people. But that's that's not an unspoken rule anymore.
I think I wrote a tweet and didn't post it about like I had a really good interaction with like the Target customer service, the woman who was working Target customer service recently, because I go there to exchange. I have a soda stream at home, you know, the thing, so you can make, and you exchange the tanks there. And we had a very, very positive, polite and cordial interaction. It was like just the right length too, like got out of there right in time. And I was like writing something about it. I might have not posted it, but it is true. Good customer service is worth its weight in gold to corporations because you will internalize how you felt while you were there.
Yes. I think that this goes back to our conversation about Gen Z not having common sense. Politeness used to be common sense, but it's not anymore. They don't have common sense because primarily they were raised in the first generation where adults felt that it wasn't their job to parent other people's children. That's my theory, at least.
I think it's got more to do with when I was growing up, the amount of money that a corporation like Target brought in wasn't relevant. What was relevant is that you took pride in whatever job you were doing, because hopefully your family taught you to take pride in your work, whatever that job was. Now people have an issue with corporations making the money they do, so they don't feel the need to actually perform their job well. They only feel the need to do the bare minimum. And that's from my generation also being like abused by people who were mean to them at these jobs when they were just trying to do their job.
Were you abused at Target?
I mean, there was people that yelled and stuff like that. It didn't happen. It didn't happen to me, but I saw it happen at the customer service. But the thing is one thing that the average person, especially if they've never worked one of those jobs, will ever understand is like they go there and they yell at you because you can't help them, and they say, "I'm never coming back here again." And if you've never worked if you've never worked for a company like that, you have no idea how little that means to somebody who's making however much an hour. Like, unless it's the owner, unless it's the owner of the company or shareholders, that means exactly zero to somebody who's just trying to do their job.
Maybe the manager, but not even that is a guarantee anymore. And you're not just met with indifference and aloofness by employees now, but outright hostility, as you can see in this example at a Verizon store, where 5 employees at this store are yelling at the customer.
Yeah. Like that back there. Not sure if they heard that.
Tell me if you guys in the chat, can you tell us if you heard that?
Yep. Okay. Also, guys, let me know, do you think that this is a staged video, or do you think this is real?
Standing, doing nothing. 5 people standing, doing nothing. Doing shit. 5 people doing nothing. Look at it. 5 people doing nothing. I paid $500 for this shit. No one's helping shit. They're just standing, walking around, doing nothing. No customers. 5 people. I asked for help. No one came to help. All they're doing is just standing in their iPads doing nothing. Look at them.
I love the tiny tone of despair in his voice.
Yo, shut the fuck up. You crying.
Look at him. Look at him.
Why are you crying like a little
Nobody's
kid?
helping. Nobody's helping.
Like, shut the fuck up. They
I paid
already
$400.
told you they're not going to help you.
Okay, but it's my money.
Okay, so
so that was an employee saying, "Sir, can you shut the F up?"
it's 100% plausible that this dude did something to bring this on. It's hard to believe that he just walked into a store and 5 people were like, "Nah, fuck this guy specifically."
But we've all had the experience of walking into a business and the employee acts confused as to why you're there.
Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I would expect that at the post office,
Yeah.
not at, a coffee shop.
I don't actually expect, I would actually be suspicious if the guy at the post office was a little bit too into his job. Like, I expect working for a government job to kind of drain you of your will to live in a lot of ways. I feel like the guy at the post office who has the least light behind his eyes is probably the most efficient and good at his job.
But we came to expect that at the DMV and at the post office, not at a place of business.
Yeah.
And now that's just the ubiquitous type of interaction you're gonna receive.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.